Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we would go through all the media and art I have consumed in the months of March and April. I did this for January and February and I thought I would do it kind of bi-monthly. That means twice a month, right? Kind of every 2 months, because I feel like that then means it's enough media all at once. So I'll be going through the films I've watched, the shows I've watched, the songs I've loved, and the books I've read, of rating them. So if that's something you're interested in hearing about, then stick around. And my hair is so messy. I'm so sorry. It's getting hot here in England and my hair cannot deal with the humidity. So this is what it turns into. We would start with the books I've read. I'm so embarrassed to say this, but it was only 2. Yeah, a bit of a reading slump these last couple of months. I think these were the only books I've read. I genuinely cannot remember, but they were incredible books. The first book I read in March was Before We Say Goodbye. This is part of the series Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which I've read all the ones before this. This one is probably my 3rd favourite out of the series. It was really cute, it was really beautiful, and kind of just progressing the story further, and I loved it. So I'd say 3 stars for this one. Then the second and final book is Before We Forget Kindness. So this is, as it stands at the moment, the last one of the series, even though there is another one coming out in June. No, wait. This month or next month? I can't remember, but I will be getting that and I will be reading it. This is my 2nd favourite of the series. It goes the first one, then this one, then that one. And so this one is a 3.5 stars for me. And it's just so beautiful. I think this one was the most emotional for me, and it felt like it was really closing chapters a bit more, and I love that. So yeah. Then on to the journals. This isn't part of my last one, but I thought I'd start going through the journals I'd used. So this was my first journal for March and April. Just this pink one that I put a lot of doll stickers on. Kind of horrible, but kind of great. And then I thought I would pick like one page that I felt was something that I think is important, from this journal. So I thought I would read a bit of this. I don't know if this is the best thing in it, but I couldn't be bothered to look through it all. So, and this is a really bad poem. Like, not good at all. But I believe for my poetry, I don't go back and edit it. I just stick with it, is because I think poetry should be as raw and as genuine as possible. And so even if it's bad, it's art. It doesn't even have a name, because I obviously didn't care about it enough. In memory of the person I was. Would you with me become dust, insignificant and everywhere? I really needed you today, but I promised I wouldn't call. My soul yearns for a soul like my own, but how do I interact with people when I'm defected? Every moment of us felt like I was begging to mean something to you. I'm better than her, aren't I? Aren't I? I spend my life in regret, while the void in my heart keeps growing. What did you expect? You don't know me. Everyone's perception of me is wrong, so horribly wrong. and getting worse. When something is wrong between us, it feels like my whole world is collapsing from under my feet. I hate you for loving me. What is more is how much I hate you for abandoning those parts of me you couldn't bear to love. What did I do that was so wrong? Please hold me, just for a minute. Everything is scary. Everything is my fault. I think I was writing that about my anorexia. I know it sounds like a breakup poem or a romantic poem, but a lot of the time the things I write about my eating disorder, I make these breakup things because it feels like the only breakup I've ever been through was between me and my anorexia and the relationship between us, and I think sometimes the only way I can work through it is writing it in ways that people without eating disorders would understand. It feels like relationships are something that's so normalised in society now, so that everyone understands breakup songs and breakup poems, and it's the only way I find comfortable to write it, I guess. But yeah, that was bad, but we move. Anyway, this was my second journal, which was my final one. I've now moved on to a different one. I put all these things on it. They're not stickers because I stuck sellotape over it. But yeah, this is so random. What the fuck? But what am I if not random? So the one I'm going to read from here is called Forget Me with a question mark. I did forget that I wrote this, so yes, I did forget you. And it also doesn't seem very good, but I'm not looking for it all. Bite my nails to the quick. I love when my fingers start to bleed. I found painful ways of forgetting. I don't mind, because none of them hurt as bad as the memories. Drive down roads you showed me. Were they always dead ends? It's been a couple of months since my body felt holy. Everything was different then. I'm left praying to forget. Bury pictures of you beneath my bed now. I can't kill you, but I'll try to rid of everything you left. You left me a corpse, but I spent the last 3 years as a ghost. How am I to love this body when there's nothing left of it? I want to forget everything. Scrub my body of your skin all over it. You were all I wanted then. Now all I wish for is the chance to forget. Hold me once more for old time's sake. Is it wrong to invite your killer to your wake? I opened the windows to let this room breathe, to air out you touching me. That was also about my eating disorder. And on the next page I've got this, why do I miss my sick body? Worked through a lot of that in here, and I might talk through some of it. I was saying, I think in my mind I don't think of my body back then as sick, and I've never been sick enough in my mind. I think in my head that body is healthy and beautiful, and I need to work through that, because for as long as I think that, I will forever be chasing that body. That is all I've ever learnt to love. I think so early we're taught that you love what you love, and it's the thing you have to change to love, not the love itself. I don't know if that even makes sense. I think we do that with people even. I know I've learnt to just stick with what I love and actively adapt to that rather than learning to love something else. I hated my body when I was young, and I started to shrink it down and was under the illusion that I loved it. And so still in my head I relate self-love to that body type. And so my immediate reaction to feeling unloved is reaching out for a positive body image that I falsely believed I had at the time. And I find myself running back to the only love I could ever control. I don't know what it is that draws me to such a small, sick body. The truth is, in my mind, honestly, I don't find a slim body beautiful, but I genuinely think a skinny, sick, skeletal body is the most stunning. I hate that about myself. I don't like anyone else being that, but I always want to be as horribly skinny as possible, and I genuinely don't think mine is about beauty standards or being skinny or anyone else. I think my eating disorder lies in my fear of growing up and my intimacy issues, and therefore I wanted to make myself as unappealing as possible. I had such a fear of someone finding me attractive, because what would they want to do to me then? I think a lot of it is rooted in how I've seen the bad in the world and been underexposed to the good, and so therefore I'm under this belief that I'm always in danger. I don't even feel safe in my own body. I always feel like the ugly duckling. Even when I feel pretty, I'm never the prettiest. Even when I was anorexic and skinny, I was never the skinniest. I hate that feeling of being around people and seeing how beautiful they are, how normal they are, how pretty they are, and knowing I don't fit in. I know that a lot of the time I am the weirdest and the ugliest in the room. I've always felt that way, and know that, and I felt it again just now looking at a photo of me, Erin and Isla in Starbucks on a trip, and I knew I was the ugliest, and I immediately looked like the weird cousin. I think I needed to cry tonight. I'm losing grip, but sometimes I've got to dip my toes into the freezing water just to appreciate the land. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but there you go. Those were my 2 journals for the months. And yeah. Then I guess we'll move on to films that I watched in March and April. So I feel like I watched a lot more films than I usually do, which is funny because I am a film student, so I feel like I should be watching a lot. I guess the ones I watched for film were Get Out. I think that's the only one we watched, because then I had an exam about all of the films, but that's the only one we had left to watch. And a lot of short films we've watched, but I'm not going to include them in it. But anyway, out of my own choices, I watched the first 3 Screams. So Scream 2, Scream 3. I'd never watched these before, even though I know they're such like a pop culture thing that I feel like everyone has to watch. I was always like, I can't deal with horror films. I'm a wuss. And that seems like too much for me. They really weren't. I'm not very good with horror. I don't know, I feel like I've got better with it through film studies, to be honest. Because you kind of just have to suck it up and watch it and analyse it. But they weren't as gory as I expected. They were kind of more satirical, which I guess I can kind of deal with if it's like kind of comedy mixed in at times. And I guess they're just good for the culture. So I think the first one is the best one. I haven't watched any more than the 3 because those were the only ones on Netflix at the time. I think the second one's the worst. I think they go first, third, second. I think I really have anything to say about them. Like, I don't feel like I have anything to say that hasn't already been said about them. So I also watched Us. Incredible film. How have I not watched that before? I think that is genuinely one of the best films I've ever seen. Like, the cinematography in it, crazy. The plot, crazy. The acting, incredible. Crazy. And I just love the concept of it. Like, I love horror films that are more psychological, that are more like, oh my god, that's so fucked up, to the point where I can't even like digest and process that. Like, that is my type of film. And it was gorgeous, and the plot twist at the end, I'm sorry, I didn't see it coming. Maybe I'm just stupid, but I will be watching that film over and over. That one's got to be like 4.5 stars for me. Then I also watched American Psycho. Finally, I know that's also another one that everyone's like, oh my god, you haven't seen American Psycho. Because of it, I kind of like hate to watch things that people say like, oh, you have to watch this. I'm like, no, I want to be different. I'm like, watch underground films. But it's like, you know what? American Psycho is popular for a reason. That's such a good film. A lot less horror than I thought. I thought it would be a lot scarier. It is an 18. And I get why. But I wouldn't say it's because of the horror. Yeah, and that made me more uncomfortable. Scarier for me. See, Christian Bale played that role perfectly. Scarily perfectly. And the concept of it, because obviously it's kind of like satire with like the business cards and all, is just so incredible and so true for the society that we live in, and I feel like it's a really good comment on society in a jokingly horror way, and I love that. And the ending, please, I don't know what to think about it still, so I need opinions. Please tell me. I need to know. And again, that was more of like a psychological one where it's like you're left to be like, oh my god, what did I just watch? And that's what I love the most. Next one I watched was Perfect Neighbour, the like documentary where it's like all the police body cam footage, and oh my god, it was such a random watch, but I was like, I'm bored and I need to put something on, and everyone had spoken about it, and I get why, because I didn't expect that. So many issues with it, and I was so destroyed at how it ended. I was like feeling hopeful, and all my hope disappeared. And I feel like it's just such a good social commentary, and I feel like everyone should watch that. And that lady, no idea. Then I also watched Louis Theroux's documentary Inside the Manosphere. I love Louis Theroux, and so I was having to watch this. It was so scary to, honestly, I found that scarier than the horror films because it feels so much closer and so much more realistic, and it is one of the things I find scariest about the world at the moment, and where my feminism really comes in heavy. But I think it's so important that we have men like Louis Theroux talking about those issues and trying to educate people in a really inoffensive way, and just kind of shedding light on the delusion, absolute arrogance of the whole epidemic. Inside the Manosphere, I would rate 4 stars. I only wouldn't put it as 5 because I am scared by watching it as a woman. And I don't think any woman could watch that and feel comfortable. The final film I watched was Thrash. It's like the worst film. Definitely the worst one out of them. I knew it was going to be though, because obviously it looked like a bad film anyway, but this was 2026. It's a new film on Netflix. That should have been the first sign. But it just wasn't good. Like, the acting wasn't great. The plot felt like it had been done so many times before that you just didn't need to do it. And it just didn't happen quick enough or slow enough. Like, it wasn't fast enough that it was like so intense, or slow enough that it felt like a creative decision where it was like, we're making it slow to build up tension. It just felt like somewhere in the middle where they're like, I can't be bothered. And maybe I'm biased because I really don't like shark films or anything like that anyway. Do love Jurassic World, so I feel like you could have done it better. Then moving on to shows, I watched 4 shows, like new shows, these 2 months, and the first one was Blockbuster. I've been wanting to watch this for a while, and I started it in like 2022 or whenever, I don't know when it came out, but there's obviously only 1 season of it and I think it was cancelled, but I couldn't get into it because it just wasn't as funny as most sitcoms. But the more I got into it, the more it felt like it had hope, definitely had a direction it could have gone in, and I think if they didn't give up on it, it could have been really good, because I think the first season is never a good showing of the series. Like watching The Office for the first time, or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or Superstore, the first season, if I watched it now, I know I wouldn't watch the rest of it because my attention span is like nothing. So I think Blockbuster did deserve more, and because obviously it's got Amy in it from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Rose's mum, needed it. But I would say probably like 3 stars, just because I think it could have been funnier and written a bit better, but it was really good, and I feel like they were just getting the hang of it and just kind of finding their signature style. Then I watched Trust Me, The False Prophet. I watched this with my mum, and it was crazy to watch. It's so intense, and they're like eye-opening and uncomfortable, but I think in an important way. And I just feel so bad for those girls, but I am so glad that women, like I can't remember her name, but the main one from it, and her partner, I'm so glad people like that exist, because the amount of effort and work they put in, even when the police and the FBI weren't doing anything, they're the real like heroes of that story. And I feel like it really shows the hope in that way, but everything else so fucked up. Then I watched Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen. This was, I think it's a new series, and my friend told me to watch it. Oh my god, I'm so glad I did. This is like one of the best shows I've ever seen. I don't really like serious shows, but except like documentary ones, but this one was so good. The actress is gorgeous. All I could think about the entire time was, oh my god, she's stunning. Like there wasn't a single shot where she didn't like mog everyone. She was mogging non-stop. She's just incredible. She's an incredible actress, and I think everyone was really good, like acting wise and performance wise. And the cinematography, it was shot beautifully. Like there were so many shots that I was like stunned at and just jaw-dropping. The plot was also incredible. I think the first few episodes were the scariest, but the plots didn't really seem to have as much tied to them. I feel like I need a whole conversation about this, and I might do a whole video on this because I have so much to say about it. Everything about it. The sorry man. Sorry. Like literally. And like the whole thing with like the brother. He's like, I think I just saved your life. I'm gonna be quoting that forever, because at the same time it was like iconic, it was incredibly cringe, and that's the perfect balance. But I absolutely loved that show, to be honest. It was incredible. I think they could have tied the plot together a bit better, but I can't complain, and I do kind of want to see another season of it, and I will watch. So glad with how it ended, and I think I'd give that 4.5 stars because it was incredible. Homicide, New York, with my mum. It's gruesome and it's brutal and it's giving me nightmares. But it is very good and it's filmed very well and it's really interesting, and you can't help but keep watching it. So yeah. My favourite show that I've been obsessed with ever since it came out. 2 versions of it, the Australian one and the USA one. I need a UK one, please. I don't even want to date, but the only time I would is if this show came to the UK. Please put me on it. I'm begging. I need to be on this show. Okay. Love on the Spectrum. It is the most comforting, wholesome, heartwarming show for me. Like, no show is as comforting as this for me. It was Love on the Spectrum season 4 that came out recently, and I binged it so fast, and I've watched it at least 3 times since it came out, just that season. And oh my god, I can't believe it all, and I'm so happy as an autistic girl and as someone on the spectrum to see people represented in such a beautiful way, and just the way like it's so heartwarming, and just, I don't know, it just makes me feel really like seen, and it makes me feel really hopeful, and I can't thank the show enough for that. And the people in it are just absolutely gorgeous. My favourites, the tea train girl, I love her so much. And then Joy, I think her name is, I can't remember her name, but oh my god, I love her. Obviously James. I love James. He's iconic. Conversation pieces all around. And then obviously there was Madison and Tyler. I'm so happy for them. I feel like they just complement each other perfectly and I love them so much. Also, Logan, he's my new favourite. I love Logan, absolutely love him. Oh, and Tanner, of course. He makes me cry, I love him so much. But Logan, where was this diva hiding? Like, Tifa is out of the picture, Logan is set free. When my favourite line of them all is when Kian knocks on the door and he opens it and they're like, what are you doing? And he's like, just opening the door. Has anyone ever dropped a line as hard as that? I'm sorry. You completely got owned there. I would be like, that is so fair. That's the best thing I've ever heard. And I have referenced it so many times. Iconic. So that is a 5-star. 5 stars. No complaints. They couldn't do anything better. Except come to the UK and put me on it. And then finally, for the media and art consumed, I thought I would then go through some of my favourite songs in the past couple months. So I'm just going to read a few of them. I've got a lot that I like, but on my Spotify I have playlists for each month, so I can link that. But the songs that I've been really loving the last few months are Good Girl, Labour, Last Woman on Earth, Hunter, King, Buckle, Swim, Bluebird, Stranger, Wildflower, The Blue, Season 2 Weight Loss, Get Free, Cherry Blossom, You Are Mine, and He Wants the Rain. Those were the big ones this month, and I've been trying to listen to happier music now, so hopefully the ones for May and June are happy. I'm trying to make myself happy. But yeah, that is the songs. And then for the final thing, I thought I would show my new journal for these months, or however long it lasts. It already is looking a bit worn because I've been decorating it like cutely. Recently I've been trying to make my journal a bit more exciting so that I'm kind of more like, feel a bit more whimsical to write in it. Add everyday whimsy into your life, that's one of my goals. And so I bought like these cute stickers for it and some like lace to put on it with like my washi tape. And so I'm trying to do all of those cute things just to make it feel, this is one of my favourite pages I think, like the lace, the washi tape and the stickers. Absolutely love it, and the way it matches. And I've also got a pen that matches this and like a little notepad that matches it. How cute. So yeah, also one more thing I want to say for the media and art consumed. One of my favourite apps that my sister introduced to me a couple months ago, or she told me about it years ago, but I only just got it like a month ago, is CoStar, which tells you your daily horoscope, and I've been absolutely loving it. It's been making me feel so seen by the universe and it's just like a really good extra support. I don't know if, I mean, it depends if you're like spiritual or not, or if you believe in that, but I definitely believe in like energy and the planets and everything aligning you, and I feel like there is some proof of that. Especially as women, I think we're really in tune with the universe, and so it's been really helping me. So my horoscope today is: get it all off your chest. The words you've swallowed are turning toxic. Those closest to you already see the truth you're hiding. They're waiting for you to acknowledge it. Speak plainly this week. The aftermath will hurt less than your silence. And then it gives you some things to do and some things to don't. So do's today are small pouch, rubber stamp, clothespin. And don't, rulers, parroting, aha moments. Sometimes it just sounds silly, but sometimes that's like we need a bit of something silly, and sometimes it's just like that push. It's been so accurate for me in the last few weeks. Like when I've had an argument, it says something about an argument, and I know that's just like fortune tellers, like reading into it, but I'm okay with it. If it makes you feel better, then what's the harm? And yeah, I've been absolutely loving that. So yeah, that is all my media and art consumed for the months of March and April, and I hope you enjoyed. I will do this again for May and June. Hopefully more books this time. But yeah, have a lovely spring, and thank you for watching, and remember, the best is yet to come.